Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya
Dedim aşk ne?
Aşk hiçlik,
Anlamıyorum dedim. Hiçlik ne?
kendindeki egoyu varlığı yok etmek. Aşk, sevgiliyle beraber olmak. Sendeki sen olan İsmail Can, sendeki asıl İsmail olan kalbindeki bir nokta, hakikati bulmak.
My grandmother wanted me to be a pastor. So I guess if grandma says you're supposed to do it, you're supposed to do it. We were raised in the church, in a German Lutheran church, very conservative. And the church was filled with music. It was a big church because I had originally, as a kid, wanted to do music. I spent my early days exploring the priesthood in the Catholic Church, the Lutheran Church, taught at seminary, was always a spiritual person, but there came a time in my life where I needed to have more and the right teacher. So I began looking. A friend of mine told me that a woman who was the descendant of Rumi was coming to San Francisco to teach. So I said, I'm going to get on a plane and fly up there and see what she's got to say. And I remember I asked her a question. I said something to her. I said, I've had lots of teachers in my life, and I've had some amazing experiences, but I feel like I'm in the bottom of the ocean and I can't find what I'm looking for. And I remember she said to me, just because you're looking, you've already found what you're looking for. And that sat with me.
Hazreti Mevlana bize kendimizi bilmeyi tavsiye ediyor. Kendimizi bilirsek, kendi kıymetimizi anlarsak, o zaman ne kadar sevilen bir yaratık olduğumuzu anlarız. İşte kendini seven, sevgiyi öğrenmiş olur, aşkı öğrenmiş olur ve bu şekilde bu sevgiyi etrafıyla paylaşabilir. Bugün dünyanın buna ihtiyacı var.
Part of my education is a master's in divinity and a master's in theology. I mean, I was, marrying and bearing people. I was teaching, people. I was doing music in beautiful, amazing worship services. So I did know who God was. I did have this love for God. But I got so lost in that journey to try and be something else, to be famous, to make a career, not just doing music, but to be known for doing music, to be seen for doing music. I was competitive. I was working my way up to being part of the, what the A list is. I was someplace C list, B list, I don't know where I was. I was getting lots of phone calls and working a lot and winning awards, but I was empty. Feeling totally empty. That was just taking me down a wrong path. It wasn't meant to be. Every corner that I turned down, of a success, of a bigger success, of a bigger success, but it was like pain, frustration, difficulty getting there, closed doors, closed road. What was I doing? Killing myself. I was really good at what I was doing. But that part of me that needed to speak creatively, that needed to be not just inspired, but to be inspirational, that was the piece that I was missing and I had to rediscover. I came to Konya in 2005 for the first time. And it was in December. It was the time of the anniversary of Rumi's death. It's a big celebration in Turkey. Thousands of people come from around the world. It's like a 10-day celebration. And we're in the Rumi hotel, and a gentleman says, I'm going to my mother's house. If anybody wants to come with me, come. And we all crammed in this little Turkish car, and we went over to this house, went up an elevator, got out of the elevator, and walking out of the door was this woman, Esin Çelebi. She looked at me and said, welcome. And she had no idea I was coming, and it touched my heart that she remembered me. It was the next morning that I learned that the man was the Makam Çelebi, the one who holds the energy of Rumi. And we went to the Jami early in the morning, to the mosque early in the morning. And afterwards we came here to the tomb, and we actually went back over there to the place called Niyaz Penceresi, the wishing window. And he said, this is where we come and pray and make our desires known. I said, okay. And so he went up and he began to pray, and I stood there in snow-covered ground. And I remember as I looked while he was praying, there was a single rose popping out of the snow over here, blooming, at full bloom. It's like, wow, that's kind of cool. And I walked up and began to pray, and I didn't know what to pray, just started to listen more than anything.
Hazreti Mevlana'nın rahmet yağmuru inana da inanmayana da yağar. Bu aynen yağmur yağdığı zaman yağmur toprağa düşer yahut da kayaya düşer. Toprağa düşerse toprak yeşerir. Ama kayaya düşerse kayadan hiçbir şey olmaz. Onun için de insan kalbini ne kadar açarsa, o kadar yeşertirse, o kadar insanlara hoşgörülü, faydalı olur, sevgi dolu olur. Budur.
And all I remember that I had this huge experience where I felt like something just flew into my heart and cracked something open, and I began to weep, and I wept for hours. And I knew I was in the right place. I didn't know what place I was in, but I knew I was in the right place. So all those years of spiritual learning and teaching that I had done, all of a sudden I felt powerless. I felt that something, I want to use the word magical, had happened, something totally mysterious, and I didn't know what it was. And that was the beginning of my journey as a person who wanted to become a dervish, but I still didn't know what that was at the time. And I just was patient and waited and slowly learned as much as I could about who these people here who knew Rumi was, because he's different here in Turkey. In America, he's very popular, and his work is popularized. But in Konya, he is the teacher. He is the leader of so many people and a spiritual giant for so many people.
Bugün dünyanın çeşitli yerlerinde Hazreti Mevlana olan hayranlık, şiiri olsun, bestevisi olsun, anlattıkları şeyler insanları çok etkilemekte. Hazreti Mevlana kendisi Müslümandı. Dini, bütün dini şeylerini, kaidelerini yerine getiriyordu. Ama aynı zamanda çok büyük bir hoşgörü içerisinde bütün dinlere karşı saygılıydı. Ve sık sık bu etraftaki kiliselere gider, oradaki din adamlarıyla karşılaşır. Hazreti Mevlana Hakk'a yürüdükten sonra, yani öldükten sonra onun cenazesine Yahudiler, Museviler, Hristiyanlar, çeşitli dinlerden insanlar katılmış.
Sometimes I think the soul gets confused what its journey is. It says, I need this, I need this. We go, oh, here's how you get there. And the answer is, no, this is how you get there. You know, don't build the ego up. Don't make a false idea who you are. Break the ego. Tame the ego. Harness the ego so that it can be right-sized, and then you can actually do the work that you are meant to do.
Sema insanın ruhunun, coşkusunun dışarı vurunu. Biz bir bebek düşünün. Bebek ayağa kalkar, yürümeye başlar, sonra dönmeye başlar. İnsanın tabii hareketidir, dönme hareketi. Şöyle dururken bile kaç çeşit dönüyoruz malum. Kanımız dönüyor, hücrelerimiz dönüyor. Biz dünyayla dönüyoruz. Dünya güneşin etrafında dönüyor, galaksiler dönüyor. Hepsi dönüyor, her şey dönüyor. Her dönüşünde Allah lafzını söyler. Allah, Allah, Allah diye döner. Ve bir sema ayini şerifi baştan sona insanların bir nefis terbiyesini anlatır. Bu her daire nefsin bir yukarı, bir mertebe yükselmesini anlatır. Nefis gittikçe terbiye olmuştur, arınmıştır. Dönmeye başlarlar. Bu dönme sırasında ellerini açarlar. Sağ elleri gökyüzüne dönük haktan aldığını, yani Allah'tan aldığını, kalp gözüyle baktığı sol eli halka dönüktür. Yani haktan aldığını kalp gözüyle halka vermektedir sema. Daha sonra Kur'an-ı Kerim tilaveti, okunması ve bütün dünya için yapılan duayla sema ayini şerifi son bulur.
To come in and to be able to have this new experience, I felt like I was a kid again in one sense. And there are moments where all you hear is God's name. It's all you hear. And you hear the other people around you saying God's name. Allah, Allah. It's all you hear. And it is an overwhelming experience still today when those moments happen, because it comes and goes. You're in and you're out. You go up and you come down. You go up again and you come down. But the goal is to have that moment, that transcendent moment, every moment, to become aware as we're even standing here in this moment of everything going on around you, to be fully present in this moment so that it's not about you and me, it's about all of us and all of this experience happening at the same time. To know that there is something greater than us that's always in process, always happening, always existing in this world, asking us to become part of that and go higher, go higher.